welcome to the Blackout Bushcraft channel. This afternoon I wanted to demonstrate a technique that I have alluded to in the comment section of a couple of my past videos. And recently I've been talking a lot about hydration and how to stay hydrated in the field, how to collect water from the landscape, and how to disinfect or make safe to drink that water that we collect. Today I wanted to take that one step further and discuss digging coyote or gypsy wells. People refer to this technique by different names, but it is the same technique. And basically what it is digging down to hit the water table and then allowing that water table to seep through the soil and fill up the hole that you dig or well that you dig. And then giving it a little time, that sediment that you've stirred up by digging that well will settle down and then you're able to collect that water. For me personally, I treat that water as any other groundwater resource that I would collect, whether it be from a stream or a pond or a creek or a mud hole. But in some way, we're going to want to make that water safer to drink, whether through filtering or boiling or both, whatever your preference might be. So to get started on this process, you want to take a survey of the land around you and look for the lowest point that you can get to. And a lot of times that's how we find standing water. A lot of times we'll find dry creek beds or places that would hold standing water if the conditions are wet or if the water table's high. But if that water table is low, you dig down a little bit in that low area and you're going to find that water table much faster. So I've taken the survey here in the back of this soybean field, which is actually on our family land. There's a really low spot that water drains off, and so I'm going to go in there, dig down, see if we can find that water table and collect some water, and I'll show you how to make it safe to drink. All right, let's get started. See just how quickly this hole has seeped full of water, and that's because I'm down in this crevice here and I'm really close to the water table. If you can find a lowland spot like this, a lot of times you won't have to dig as deep and you can find water very quickly. I'm going to go ahead while I'm down in here and go a little bit lower and dig another couple of wells to work with. So I have here my handy titanium shovel from Self Reliance Outfitters, and what I've done is come down to a low spot in the landscape, and this is a place where water tends to flow. We've definitely got a lot of erosion here. And what I'm going to do is just come here into that low spot and dig out a small well, something that's big enough that I could potentially get my cup down in to scoop water out. I'm going to throw that downstream so it doesn't just flow back into the hole I'm digging. And this is some pretty soft sandy soil here, so it's easy to dig. But also that means that a lot of sediment wants to fill back into this hole. But I can see I've definitely hit the water table down here. That doesn't take a lot of effort. So I've gone ahead and dug 2 of these shallow coyote wells while I was at it, and I've given this about 15 minutes for things to settle, and I'm amazed at just how clear this water's gotten in that short period of time. And it is a thought that this water's almost in direct sunlight, so there's a lot of UV rays going into this, and that would only help to further disinfect the water. I'm going to go ahead and collect this up in the brown bag filter. I'm sure I'll stir up some sediment doing that, and we'll run this water through that filter and see what it looks like from there. Anytime you collect water from a ground resource, such as a pond, a lake, a river, even a mud hole, there's always going to be sediment and silt and dirt and grit and things like that that get into your water. And especially when you're digging a coyote well or gypsy well like I'm doing today, even when you let that water settle, there's always going to be particulates that get stirred up and get into that water. Those things may not be harmful to your health within themselves, although they may upset your stomach, but they will make the water less appealing and less enjoyable to drink. If you just simply run that water through a pre-filter, such as this brown bag filter made by Browns Bushcraft, it can make that water so much more enjoyable and satisfying when you're out in the field. This filter will not filter out any biological contaminants or any heavy metals or chemicals or things like that that may be in the water, but again, it will make that water much more clear, get those sediments and things out of the water, and again, make it more appealing. What this also does, and this is very important, is it helps to extend the life of any water filter that you use. Whether you're using a Grayl water filter, a Sawyer Mini, or any of those types of commercial filters, by filtering out that coarse sediment, you'll help to greatly extend the life of those other filters and again preserve that resource. In my opinion, this is an excellent piece of kit. It should be in every single backpack when you go afield if you plan on collecting any water off the landscape. When you look at the side of this brown bag filter, you can see there's a small line that's sewn into the side, and that is sometimes misconceived as the fill-to line. It's actually what's known as the waste-to line. What we want to do when we use this filter is fill it to the very top and allow the water to seep out through these cotton fibers until it reaches this line. We start to collect that water in a container from this line down. The idea behind that is that hopefully as the water seeps through, it will flush away or wash away any contaminants or silt or things like that that may have gotten on the outside of this bag while we were collecting water. So again, this is the waste line. In other words, allow it to seep down to here and then collect this portion of water from that point forward. The first step in using this brown bag filter is to completely submerge it. Once water penetrates into those cotton fibers, it'll cause them to swell, and that will actually tighten up the weave of the material, and that'll do a better job of filtering out sediment. All right, so the first step, as I said in this, is to get this filter completely soaked, and I'm gonna try not to stir up this water too bad in doing that. And just scoop a little bit on the inside. And of course, there goes some sediment. But I want to get this thing nice and wet. Again, that helps the fibers to swell and makes it do a better job of filtering out finer particulates. So since I have the resource of a metal cup, I'm going to use that to fill this filter all the way to the top. And this water is very turbid at this point. There's a lot of silt and sediment stirred up. So this will be a good test of this filter. This water almost looks like chocolate milk at this point. So I've gone ahead and brought my filter over here to the corner of the field. We got a down tree here, and this comes with a paracord tie. So I'm just going to simply tie a shoelace knot or a bow knot and allow this thing to hang. Gravity will do the rest. So you can see how much dirt, silt, and everything is floating around in that water in there. This thing will just sit here and do its job, operate by using gravity. So at this point, looking down inside that brown bag filter, I can see that we've gotten to that waste-to line. So I'm going to just take this titanium bush pot and place it up under the filter and allow that water to start collecting. Okay, so somewhere within the 5-minute mark, I've been able to overflow this Pathfinder titanium bush pot, and you can see that that water is in far better condition than it was when I collected it and put it into this brown bag filter. There was a lot of silt and sediment and dirt floating in that water, suspended in that water, and that water that's in that pot right now is just about as clear as if I ran it out of the faucet at home or got it from a bottle from the store. Because of my environment, it's very non-conducive to building a fire right now and having to disinfect this water by boiling. So I'm always this time of year going to be carrying some type of a filtration device, be it a Sawyer Mini, a Grayl GeoPress, or Grayl Ultralight, as I've shown you in previous videos. So what I'll do now is run this water through my Grayl Ultralight, which just happens to be the filter I'm carrying today, and we'll see how this water from out of that Coyote well turns out as drinking water. sun's so bright I'm having a hard time seeing the fill-to line. I think I got a little extra. All right, and the most simple water filter on earth is the Grayl. And just like that, just as good as any water that I would buy at the store. Can't beat it. So I've gone ahead and drunk my fill from the Grayl once, and with that, I still have about half this pot full of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this thing one more time. That's the fill line. I still have just a drop or so left. And just loosen this lid, push this through. I went above the fill line just a little bit, but just like that, once again, I've got nice cool drinking water. Because this water was down from under the ground, I feel like it may be just a little bit cooler than resources you may collect from the surface as well, which is really welcome on a day like today. So after taking down the brown bag filter, there's just a little bit of water left in this thing. And I want you to see what that looks like. That right there would do a lot of wear and tear to any water filter. But by carrying something as simple as this brown bag filter, I'm able to preserve that resource of my critical water filter for the long term and get a lot more gallons of water. So carrying some simple equipment and supplies that will help you to keep yourself hydrated in the field, in my opinion, is very critical. And it's something that we should consider anytime we're coming out, especially like I am today. I'm out here carrying camera gear and I'm carrying my regular gear, and it's really hard for me to carry enough water to provide for my needs. Again, it's 100 degrees out here. I'm sweating and losing a lot of fluid. I have to take in a lot of fluid. So it's critical and imperative for me that I be able to collect water off the landscape. In this area I'm at right now, there's no lakes, there's no puddles, no streams, nowhere where there's water standing on the surface. So this is my only technique currently where I'm at to be able to collect water. So this is an important skill and one that's well worth practicing and knowing in case you ever need it. All right, so I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in for this video, and I hope this has been a helpful tip. I know some of you may already use this technique, but many of you maybe have only heard of it and haven't had a chance to see it actually done. So maybe this will give you an idea visually of what you actually do in digging a Coyote well or Gypsy well and how to actually process that water. This is just one of many possible methods. In my area, I've struggled over the years to keep myself hydrated in the field, and some of the places that I frequent, there isn't really a water source such as a lake or a pond or stream or whatever, and so sometimes I kind of have to resort to worst case scenarios. Sometimes that worst case scenario is just carrying water, but like I did today, I was able to get water off the landscape even though we don't have those water features here on this property. So as always, all of the equipment that you see me use in the field will be linked down below in the description box. I have several affiliate accounts that you'll see there. One is with Self Reliance Outfitters, also my Amazon influencer page, and I'm also an Exotac affiliate, so you'll see links for each of those pages down below. Any support that you provide to the channel is most appreciated. I know a lot of you guys have been using those links, and I get a small percentage at no cost to you from those sales, so anytime you use those links, I greatly appreciate it. I want to thank you for your time, interest, support, kind words. I'll be back with another video again very soon, and until that next one, you guys take care, be safe, and God bless. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content, please subscribe to the Black Hat Bushcraft channel. Thank you for your time and interest, and I hope you'll come back soon. Take care.